Chosen one, stop what you are doing. Do not rush past this. Do not treat this as another voice in the noise. Heaven did not let this message find you by accident, because Archangel Michael has been assigned to interrupt your day before you miss what your Father has been trying to tell you. This is not entertainment. This is not a casual word. This is a holy interruption. Something has been pressing against your spirit for days, and you have been trying to explain it away with tiredness, stress, or overthinking. But deep inside, you already know this is different. You have felt the pull. You have felt the stillness. You have felt that strange pause in your chest, as if something invisible was asking you to listen more carefully. And even when the room was quiet, your spirit could not settle, because a message was moving toward you from a place your mind could not reach. Archangel Michael is not here to make you afraid. He is here to guard the message. He is here to stand at the door of your attention and push back the noise that has tried to scatter you. Your Father in heaven has been calling, and the enemy has been working to make every signal feel like confusion. That is why you have been restless. That is why your sleep has felt broken. That is why you wake up with a weight that was not there when you closed your eyes. Your body is tired, but this is more than tiredness, because your spirit has been carrying signals your mind has not yet translated. Listen carefully. The last few days were not random. The sudden heaviness was not random. The tears that came without a clear reason were not random. The strange pressure around your heart was not random. Something in the unseen has been moving close, and heaven has been trying to get your attention. You may have noticed the numbers. You may have seen the same word again and again. You may have heard a sentence in your mind before someone else said it out loud. And while others would call that coincidence, your spirit knew there was a pattern beneath the surface. Chosen one, you are not crazy. You are not too sensitive. You are not making things up. You have been trained by disappointment to doubt your own discernment, but that does not mean the signal is false. It means your receiver has been wounded by years of being ignored. There is a reason this message feels personal. There is a reason your heart slowed down when you saw the words. There is a reason part of you wanted to stay, even while another part wanted to scroll away. Your spirit recognized the sound of a summons before your mind understood the meaning. Your Father has been trying to contact you urgently, not because he is angry with you, but because you are standing near a turning point. There is a door you cannot open with panic. There is a decision you cannot make from fear. There is a warning you must receive while your heart is still soft enough to obey. This urgency is not punishment. This urgency is protection. Heaven does not shout because it hates you. Heaven raises the volume when danger hides behind familiarity, when distraction wears the face of comfort, and when the person being called is too exhausted to notice the trap. You have been tired in a way sleep cannot fix. You wake up, but you do not feel restored. You smile, but something behind your eyes feels far away. You answer messages, handle tasks, help people, and keep moving, but inside you feel like you are walking through deep water. That exhaustion has a name. It is not weakness. It is spiritual overload. You have been carrying burdens that were never spoken out loud, and your heart has been picking up battles that nobody thanked you for. You kept interceding, even when you did not call it prayer. You felt when someone was not right. You sensed when a room shifted. You knew when a person was smiling at you with hidden resentment. And because you did not want to judge too quickly, you swallowed the warning and blamed yourself for feeling uncomfortable. But your Father was speaking through those small inner checks. He was not trying to make you suspicious of everyone. He was training your discernment. There is a difference between fear and warning, and this message is here because you are about to learn that difference with holy clarity. Think about the nights, you know the ones. Your eyes opened before dawn, and the room felt still in a way that almost had weight. You checked the time, and your mind wanted to call it sleep trouble, but your spirit knew you had been pulled out of sleep for a reason. Sometimes you woke with a name in your thoughts. Sometimes you woke with a memory. Sometimes you woke with a dream fading so quickly that only the feeling remained. And even after the details disappeared, the atmosphere stayed with you like a quiet hand on your shoulder. That was not empty darkness. That was not meaningless restlessness. Heaven often speaks when the world is finally silent, because the noise of the day has less power over you then. The Father has been reaching for the part of you that still believes he can answer. But there is pain in that place. There is a wound there. For many chosen ones, the word Father does not feel simple. It carries memory, absence, disappointment, distance, silence, or a protection that never came. And because of that, your heart sometimes hears heaven through the filter of what people failed to give you. This is why the message has felt hard to receive. Your Father in heaven is not like the one who misunderstood you. He is not like the one who left you alone with emotions too heavy for your age. He is not like the voice that made you feel small when you needed covering. He has been near. He has been patient. He has been speaking through dreams, pressure, delay, sudden stillness, repeated signs, and the quiet ache that would not leave you alone. You thought the ache meant abandonment, but sometimes the ache is the place where heaven is knocking. Chosen one, your loneliness has been misread. You thought it meant you were unwanted. You thought it meant nobody could stay. You thought it meant you were too intense, too deep, too difficult, or too different. But isolation is often the room where the Father removes every competing voice. He heard your hidden question. He heard it when you did not say it. He heard it when you pretended you were fine. He heard it when you encouraged someone else while your own heart was breaking. Your Father did not miss the moment you almost gave up, then chose to keep breathing anyway. That is why this word is urgent. Not because heaven is late, but because you have been close to surrendering the very part of you that can hear him. You have been tempted to numb yourself, to stop expecting, to call your sensitivity a curse, and to lower your spirit until life hurts less. Do not move too quickly. Do not let the old habit of dismissal steal this from you. The reason you have not heard him clearly will surprise you, because it is not because heaven stopped speaking. It is because something around your heart has been interfering with the signal. The signal was not silence. The signal was interference. Your Father was not far away from you, chosen one, but your inner world became so crowded that even a holy whisper had to fight through layers of fear, grief, memory, and exhaustion. You called it distance. Heaven called it distortion. You called it delay. Heaven called it protection. You called it unanswered prayer because the answer did not arrive in the shape you expected. But the Father was still speaking through closed doors, strange timing, and sudden restraint. There were moments when you almost moved too fast. You almost sent the message. You almost returned to the person who kept draining you. You almost agreed to something that your spirit resisted. Then something stopped you, and you thought it was confusion, but it was covering. That pause was not weakness. That hesitation was not failure. That strange inner resistance was not random. It was your Father placing a holy hand on your direction, because there are doors that look open from the outside, but lead straight back into bondage. You have been asking why things slowed down. You have been asking why the answer did not arrive when you begged for it. You have been asking why the same mountain keeps standing in front of you. But heaven has been trying to show you that not every delay is denial. Some delays are rescue. Some closed doors are mercy. Some unanswered invitations are divine removal. And while your heart kept aching for what did not happen, the Father was blocking what would have wounded you more deeply than the waiting ever could. But here is where it gets deeper. The enemy could not stop the Father from speaking, so he tried to make your mind too loud to hear. He filled your days with pressure. He filled your nights with old memories. He filled your body with heaviness, and then he whispered that heaven had abandoned you. That is the oldest lie. It sounds familiar because pain repeats it well. When you have been ignored by people you loved, silence starts to feel like proof that you are not worth answering. But chosen one, human silence and divine timing are not the same thing. Your Father did not abandon you. He was drawing you out of the place where fear had become your interpreter. He was teaching you to stop reading every delay through rejection, because some of the things you called rejection were actually heaven correcting your path. This is why your discernment has felt strained. One day you feel clear, the next day you feel foggy. 1 hour you believe, the next hour you question everything. And because you are tired, you start thinking that the confusion is your true condition, when it is only the dust around the message. Later, there is something I need to show you about the way clarity can be restored. Not as a trick, not as noise. There is a 7-minute audio discovery called the Genius Song, built around gamma activation, and it connects to why some chosen ones feel spiritually awake but mentally buried. For now, do not chase that yet, just hold this truth. Sometimes the receiver is wounded, not the signal. Sometimes heaven is speaking, but the mind has been trained by survival to expect danger before direction. And when that happens, even a loving message can feel like a warning siren. Your Father knows this. He knows how many voices have shaped your expectation. He knows the tone that made you shrink. He knows the absence that taught you to stop asking. He knows the disappointment that made you prepare for loss before anything even began. This is why He is not condemning you for struggling to hear. He is not standing over you with anger. He is not saying you should have known better. He is coming close with patience, because a wounded child does not need a harsher voice. A wounded child needs a trusted voice repeated gently. You thought you were being punished. You were being retrained. You thought you were being hidden. You were being protected. You thought you were being forgotten. You were being separated from every counterfeit sound that had learned how to imitate destiny. Not every urgent thing is from God. Not every open door is from heaven. Not every person who returns is sent back by grace. Sometimes the enemy sends something familiar at the exact moment your heart gets lonely, because familiar pain can feel safer than unfamiliar freedom. That is why the Father has been interrupting your patterns. He has been breaking the rhythm. He has been making you uncomfortable in places where you used to settle. And even though it has felt unsettling, that discomfort is evidence that your spirit no longer fits inside the old cage. You cannot keep calling it confusion when your spirit is actually refusing captivity. You cannot keep calling it overthinking when your discernment is warning you. You cannot keep calling it fear when the same pressure keeps showing up right before you are about to betray your own peace. Chosen one, your Father is not trying to make your life smaller. He is trying to make your hearing cleaner. He is removing the static. He is separating your inner voice from inherited fear, and He is teaching you the difference between peace that leads forward and numbness that only helps you survive. That difference matters now. It matters more than you realize, because the next instruction will not be loud for everyone around you. It may not make sense to people who never carried your assignment. It may not sound practical to those who only trust what they can measure, but you will know. You will feel the quiet authority of it. The instruction from the Father does not always arrive with thunder. Sometimes it arrives as a still knowing that will not leave, even after the fear has said everything it wants to say. This is why the enemy attacks your stillness. He knows you are dangerous when you are quiet. He knows your authority returns when you stop reacting. He knows you can hear heaven when you are not chasing validation from people who benefited from your confusion. So He sends noise. He sends urgency that is not holy. He sends emotional bait. He sends old memories at night. He sends sudden doubts after a breakthrough word. He sends people who need your energy right when the Father is asking you to sit still and listen. And because you are compassionate, you almost fall for it. You want to help, you want to explain, you want to rescue, you want to make sure nobody thinks you are selfish. But chosen one, sometimes obedience looks like silence, and sometimes love must stop rescuing what God is trying to expose. This is not easy for you. You were trained to respond to every cry. You were trained to feel responsible for every mood in the room. You learned to study faces, measure tone, and fix tension before anyone had to ask, because somewhere in your story, Peace became something you had to earn. But the Father is calling you out of that old contract. You are not the emotional servant of every wounded person. You are not the sacrifice required for every family system to keep functioning. You are not the dumping place for every spirit that refuses healing. You are His child. You are His chosen one. You are a watchman, not a doormat. You are an intercessor, not a prisoner. And when heaven asks you to listen, you are allowed to stop answering every lesser demand that tries to steal the room where His voice should be heard. The interference has been personal. It has studied you. It knows which memories make you panic. It knows which voices make you feel small. It knows which kind of silence makes you assume rejection. That is why the Father is not only sending a message, He is healing the place where messages get distorted. This is where many chosen ones miss it. They ask for a word, but they do not ask for a healed filter. They ask for direction, but they keep listening through shame. They ask for confirmation, but they keep comparing every divine pause to the human absence that broke them. Your Father is correcting that now. He is not just telling you what to do, He is teaching you how to hear again. He is touching the inner place that flinches when love gets quiet, because His silence is not abandonment. Sometimes His silence is surgery. He was removing the need to be seen by people who could never recognize you. He was removing the addiction to urgent approval. He was removing the fear that if you stop performing, you will stop being loved. And while it felt like loss, heaven called it deliverance. You are not losing yourself. You are returning to yourself. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming clear. You are not shutting your heart. You are guarding the altar of your attention, because the next season will require a cleaner yes than the last season did. The Father has been speaking through your unrest. He has been speaking through your dreams. He has been speaking through the doors that refused to open. He has been speaking through the relationships that suddenly felt heavy, because some people were only comfortable with the version of you that could not hear clearly. Now that your spirit is waking up, the old rooms feel strange. The old conversations feel thin. The old distractions do not satisfy you anymore. You may not understand everything yet, but you know something has shifted, and you can no longer pretend that noise is peace. That shift is holy. Do not fear it. Do not run from it. Do not apologize for it. The Father is not calling you back to the old version of yourself. He is calling you into the version that can hear Him without begging the world to validate the instruction. And this is why you must stay with this message. Because the first sign was in your sleep. The second sign was in your body. But the third sign is the one most chosen ones ignore. And that is where Archangel Michael is standing guard right now. The third sign is the one most chosen ones ignore. You watched the dream. You felt the pressure in your body. But you almost missed the pattern in your environment. Because the Father often confirms His voice through repetition that looks ordinary until your spirit recognizes it. You heard the same phrase twice in one day. You saw the same number at the wrong time. You opened a page, and the exact word you prayed about was staring back at you. And even though your mind tried to dismiss it, something in you whispered, "Pay attention." That whisper matters. It is not loud, but it carries weight. It does not always shake the room, but it can stop your breath for a moment. The Father does not need to compete with noise, because when He speaks, the deepest part of you already knows the difference. The first sign was in your sleep. Not every dream was divine, but some of them carried a mark you could not explain. You woke up changed. You woke up warned. You woke up with one image burning in your mind, and the feeling followed you into the day like a sealed letter. That is how heaven often bypasses your defenses. When you are awake, you argue. When you are awake, you explain things away. When you are awake, fear talks too much. But in the night, when your performance is asleep, the Father can touch the places your pride keeps guarded. Samuel heard His name in the night. He did not understand it at first. He thought the voice belonged to someone near him, because his young heart had not yet learned how divine calling sounds. But heaven kept calling, until he finally answered with surrender. That is important for you. The first time the Father speaks, you may mislabel it. You may think it is memory. You may think it is anxiety. You may think it is only your imagination, because wounded people often distrust the very doorway heaven uses to reach them. But the call does not disappear just because you misunderstood it. It returns. It presses gently. It repeats. And when the same inner knowing keeps coming back after the emotion fades, chosen one, you are not dealing with random thought. You are standing near instruction. The second sign was in your body. You felt the heaviness. You felt the sudden chill. You felt the tightness near your chest. When someone spoke a sentence that sounded normal to everyone else, your body reacted before your mind had time to build an argument. Do not worship every feeling. Do not fear every sensation. But do not despise the body the Father gave you, because sometimes your spirit notices danger before your logic has enough evidence. Discernment often begins as a quiet discomfort that refuses to be negotiated away. You have felt this before. You walked into a room and knew something was off. You read a message and felt your peace leave. You listened to someone explain themselves, but the explanation did not match the weight in your spirit. That was not paranoia. That was warning. Elijah learned that the voice of God was not always in the earthquake. It was not always in the fire. It was not always in the wind. Sometimes the true voice came after the dramatic noise passed, and it arrived in a stillness that required his whole soul to listen. That is why the enemy keeps you overstimulated. He wants you addicted to motion. He wants you reacting to every sound, every message, every fear, every emergency that is not yours. Because if he can keep you in constant reaction, you will confuse urgency with assignment. Your Father is slowing you down for a reason. He is not wasting your time. He is rescuing your hearing. He is teaching you that not every loud thing deserves obedience, and not every quiet thing should be ignored. Some quiet things carry the authority of heaven. The third sign is repetition in your environment. This one is easy to mock, so chosen ones often hide it. You keep seeing the same word, the same name appears, the same scripture returns, the same number shows up. The same sentence follows you through unrelated places. One time can be coincidence, twice can be noticed. But when the same confirmation keeps arriving from different directions, without you forcing it, your spirit begins to understand that heaven is building a trail. The Father knows how to repeat himself without becoming loud. Joseph received direction through dreams. He was warned where not to go. He was guided when danger moved close. He did not need a crowd to validate the instruction, because when heaven speaks to the one assigned to protect a promise, the instruction can come privately. That is how it has been with you. The Father did not always explain you to everyone. He did not always give public proof. He gave you private signals, private restraints, private checks in your spirit, because some instructions would have been destroyed if you had exposed them too early. This is why you must stop begging people to understand the warning. Some people will not understand because they were not assigned to hear it. Some will call you dramatic. Some will call you distant. Some will say you changed, but they are only noticing that your spirit stopped ignoring heaven for their comfort. Chosen one, the message is becoming clearer now. The dreams were not empty. The body signals were not useless. The repetition was not meaningless. These three signs have been working together like three witnesses, and all of them have been pointing to the same holy truth. Your Father is not trying to contact you because you are in trouble. He is trying to contact you because you are near transition. A movement is approaching your life, and heaven wants your obedience to be cleaner than your fear when the next door opens. There is something you must not return to. There is something you must not agree with. There is something you must not revive, just because loneliness makes the old thing look softer than it really was. The Father is warning you before your compassion becomes permission for bondage. This is the place where your hearing must become sharper. A chosen one without clarity can be manipulated by familiar voices. A chosen one without stillness can confuse guilt with love. A chosen one without discernment can walk back into a cage and call it loyalty. That is why restoring inner clarity matters. When the mind is crowded with survival noise, even a divine whisper can feel like threat. Your spirit may be awake, but if your thoughts are buried under pressure, the message can arrive pure and still be received through fear. This is also why that 7-minute audio discovery I mentioned earlier matters for some people. Not as a replacement for prayer, not as a substitute for God, but as a simple way of quieting the inner static so the part of you built for discernment can breathe again. When researchers speak about gamma, they are describing a state linked with higher clarity, intuition, and those sudden moments when scattered pieces come together. But for a chosen one, this is not only about performance. It is about becoming still enough to recognize the voice that fear has been trying to imitate. You do not need more noise. You do not need another complicated ritual. You do not need to force yourself into a spiritual performance that leaves you more exhausted than before. What you need is restoration. Because your Father is not asking for panic. He is asking for attention. Hear this carefully. The Father does not speak to you to make you frantic. He speaks to bring order. He speaks to separate truth from emotional fog. He speaks to pull your soul out of the crowd of competing voices until the one voice that matters becomes steady again. That is what happened with David. Before he faced what everyone else feared, he had already learned the sound of God in hidden places. The field trained him. The silence trained him. The lonely seasons trained him, because public giants are defeated by private obedience. You have been in a field season. You have been overlooked. You have been underestimated. You have been left to fight things no one saw. But the hidden place did not mean heaven forgot you. It meant heaven was building a sound in you that could not be shaken by applause or accusation. And now that sound is being tested. Will you follow peace when panic argues? Will you obey the warning when desire pulls? Will you trust the repeated sign when people demand a more logical explanation? These questions matter because your next step will reveal which voice has your loyalty. Do not answer quickly. Let it land. Your Father is not trying to entertain your curiosity. He is restoring your obedience. He is rebuilding the connection between His instruction and your response. Because the old season trained you to hesitate when heaven said move and rush when fear said prove yourself. That pattern is breaking. You will not keep running toward what drains you. You will not keep explaining what God already exposed. You will not keep calling your discernment a problem just because it makes dishonest people uncomfortable. The Father is giving your inner hearing back to you. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian around this revelation. Not because you are weak, but because the message is valuable. The enemy only fights what carries consequence. If this word meant nothing, there would be no sudden distraction, no strange fatigue, no urge to click away before the truth reaches the hidden place. Stay here. The signs have been named now. Sleep, body, repetition. The witnesses have spoken, but the signs are not the deepest part. What blocked the message was not distance, and it was not divine absence. What blocked the message was a wound wearing the voice of truth. What blocked the message was a wound wearing the voice of truth. It sounded holy because pain had learned religious language. It sounded wise because fear had learned how to quote your past. It sounded safe because disappointment told you to expect less, ask for less, hope for less, and call that humility. But the Father is exposing it now. He is not exposing it to shame you. He is exposing it to free you. The voice that said you were forgotten was not His voice. The voice that said you were too late was not His voice. The voice that said you should stop expecting good was not His voice. That voice came from abandonment. That voice came from old rejection. That voice came from rooms where you needed comfort and received silence. And because that pain was never fully healed, it started dressing itself like discernment until you began calling self-protection obedience. This is the hidden blocker. You have not been unable to hear God because He left. You have been struggling to hear because a wound kept answering first. Before peace could speak, fear interrupted. Before direction could settle, shame argued. Before love could reach you, memory stood at the door. Chosen one, hear this with your whole spirit. Your father has been contacting you, but the old wound taught you to expect abandonment. So when heaven delayed something, you called it rejection. When heaven closed something, you called it punishment. When heaven grew quiet, you thought love had left again. That is why this moment is holy. The Father is separating his voice from the echo of every person who mishandled you. He is not asking you to pretend the pain did not happen. He is asking you to stop letting the pain translate his heart. The message is not that you failed. The message is not that you missed your chance. The message is not that heaven is tired of you. The message is that the Father is still speaking, but he will no longer let an old wound sit on the throne of your interpretation. You are not rejected. You are being redirected. You are not abandoned. You are being called closer. You are not behind. You are being prepared for a door that requires steadiness, because what is coming cannot be carried by the version of you that panics every time silence appears. This is where the false summit breaks. You thought the word was wait. You thought the word was endure. You thought the word was be strong again. But the deeper word is this: stop calling rejection what heaven calls protection. Stop calling silence what heaven calls surgery. Stop calling fear the voice of God. Let that land. The Father did not train you through pain so you would worship pain. He did not protect you from counterfeit doors so you would be afraid of every door. He did not make you sensitive so you would suffer forever. He made you sensitive so you could hear what others ignore. And now your inner hearing must be restored, not just emotionally, not just spiritually. Even your mind needs rest from the constant static that has been pressing against it, because when your thoughts are flooded with survival noise, the purest message can still arrive through a receiver covered in fear. This is why I mentioned the Genius song earlier. Not as a replacement for prayer, not as a shortcut around obedience. It is a 7-minute audio discovery created to help activate gamma, the brainwave linked with clarity, intuition, flow, and those sudden moments when truth finally comes together. For a chosen one, that matters deeply. You were not born dull. You were not born numb. You were not born disconnected from divine signal. Many chosen ones remember being sharper as children, more intuitive, more creative, more alive, before the world trained them to doubt every sacred sense. Dr. Robert Lake spent decades studying the brain, and this audio was designed around brain entrainment, which means the sound guides the brain toward a specific state. You use headphones, sit still for 7 minutes, and allow the track to help quiet the inner static. This is not about chasing a feeling. It is about restoring the receiver. Studies around gamma have been connected with clearer thought and heightened awareness at places like MIT, Princeton, Harvard, and other leading research universities. And for your assignment, clarity is not a luxury. Over 18,366 people have used it. And what stands out is not only the number. The stronger trust signal is that fewer than 4% have asked for a refund, which means the vast majority kept using it after they had time to test it. The original value is $49, but the path connected to this message gives it for $39 one time. No subscription, no shipping, just the digital audio delivered by email, so the practice can begin without waiting for anything physical to arrive. And the value is not only the audio, it also includes 4 bonuses worth $80 together. Genius Child is valued at $19. The classic book is valued at $20. Guided visualization is valued at $29. The 5-habit infographic is valued at $12. There is also a 90-day guarantee. If you try it and feel it is not for you, you can request your money back. No return is needed because it is digital, and even then, you keep the $80 in bonuses as a way of honoring the time you gave the process. I need to protect you here. Do not search for the genius song randomly on Amazon, YouTube, Spotify, or scattered pages that borrow the name. Many imitations use ordinary sound without the real brain entrainment, without the proper bonuses, and without the full guarantee connected to the original source. The original path is in the description and the pinned comment. Use that path only if your spirit feels aligned. This is not pressure. This is direction. If you know you have been spiritually awake but mentally buried, this may be one small act of agreement with your restoration. Pause for a moment. Put your hand over your heart if you can. Breathe slowly. This decision is not only about $39. It is about whether you are willing to stop living under the noise that has been pretending to be your identity. If your answer is yes, your next step is simple. The path is below this message. Let your spirit move with peace, not panic. Let clarity return without force. Let the Father restore the place where fear has been speaking too loudly for too long. Now come back fully to this word. The tool can support clarity, but the revelation is still sacred. The Father has been speaking, the wound has been translating, and now heaven is taking the pen back from pain, because your future cannot be written by the voice that broke you. Archangel Michael is standing over this transition, not to replace the Father, but to guard what the Father is restoring. The enemy wanted you to believe silence meant absence, because if you accepted that lie, you would stop seeking the voice that was still reaching for you. Do not leave yet. After a message is received, it must be sealed. If you walk away without sealing it, the old noise will try to steal it back. The next part is not another teaching. It is the moment where you answer the Father with your whole heart. Now seal this message. Do not let it remain only as something you heard. Let it become something your spirit agrees with. The Father has spoken through the noise, through the dreams, through the pressure, through the repetition, and now He is asking for your whole attention. Place your hand over your heart if you can. Breathe slowly. Let your shoulders drop. You do not have to perform for this moment. You do not have to prove that you are spiritual enough. You only have to become still enough to receive what love has been trying to say. The Father says, "My child, you were never forgotten. You were never invisible to me. You were never a burden I grew tired of carrying. The nights you cried in silence were not hidden from heaven, and the prayers you whispered without strength still reached my heart." He says, "I saw the way you kept going. I saw the way you smiled while your spirit was bleeding. I saw the way you carried people who did not know how heavy you had become. And even when you felt unseen, my eyes never turned away from you." He says, "I did not leave you in the silence. I was healing what the noise could not touch. I was removing voices that sounded comforting but kept you tied to fear. I was separating you from patterns that used your compassion as a chain. Chosen one, receive this now." The Father is not angry that you struggled to hear. He is not disappointed that you questioned the delay. He understands why your heart flinched, because He knows the wounds that taught you to expect absence when love became quiet. But today, that wound loses authority. Today, the old echo loses its throne. Today, the voice of abandonment is exposed as an intruder, and the voice of the Father rises above every memory that tried to tell you love would always leave. You are not the child who has to beg for attention anymore. You are not the servant who has to earn a place at the table. You are not the broken one who must accept crumbs and call them provision. You are a beloved child of the Father. Let that sentence settle. You are beloved. Not because you performed, not because you never doubted, not because you always obeyed perfectly. You are beloved because His love began before your pain, before your mistakes, and before any person had the chance to name you wrongly. The enemy wanted your father wound to become your spiritual language. He wanted you to translate every pause as rejection. He wanted you to run from every closed door and cling to every familiar cage. But heaven is rewriting your interpretation right now. You will no longer call protection punishment. You will no longer call delay abandonment. You will no longer call discernment fear. You will no longer apologize for sensing what heaven allowed you to sense. And you will no longer shrink so dishonest rooms can feel comfortable. Say this in your spirit. I receive the voice of my Father above the voice of fear. I receive truth above memory. I receive peace above panic. I receive clarity above confusion. I receive the message heaven has been sending to me. Say it again, softly if you can. I am not abandoned. I am not forgotten. I am not too late. I am not too damaged to hear God. The Father is restoring my hearing, restoring my peace, and restoring the part of me that learned to doubt holy love. Breathe again. Let the nervous rushing slow down. Let the inner noise lose its grip. You do not need to chase the next sign from a place of panic, because when the Father wants you to know, He knows how to confirm without tormenting your soul. From this moment forward, your assignment is not to react to every voice. Your assignment is to stay close to peace. Your assignment is to test the sound. Your assignment is to ask, does this voice carry fear, or does it carry the steady authority of love? The Father does not manipulate you. He does not shame you into obedience. He does not rush you into confusion and call it faith. His voice may correct you, but it will not destroy you. His voice may interrupt you, but it will lead you toward life. Archangel Michael stands as a witness over this sealing. The message was guarded, the signs were named, the blocker was exposed, the wound was separated from truth. Now the altar of your attention is being cleansed, so the old noise cannot easily take back what heaven has restored. If this word found the hidden place in you, do not stay silent. Write these words in the comments. My Father has not forgotten me. Do not write them as decoration. Write them as agreement. Let your own eyes see the confession your spirit has been waiting to make. And if this message confirmed what you have been feeling, touch the like button as a sign of agreement. Not for vanity, not for numbers, but so this word can reach another chosen one who is sitting in silence, wondering if the Father stopped speaking to them too. Share it with the person your spirit remembers right now. Do not force it on everyone. Send it with peace. Sometimes, one shared message becomes the interruption that keeps someone from walking back into a trap. They were almost ready to call destiny. And if your spirit felt the pull toward restoring clarity through the genius song, the original path is still in the description and the pinned comment. Do not move from pressure, move from peace. Let it be a step of alignment only if your inner witness says yes. Now return to the sacred center. This is not the end of a message. This is the beginning of cleaner hearing. Over the next days, pay attention without panic. Notice what repeats. Notice what brings peace. Notice what leaves when you stop chasing it. Do not be afraid of the quiet. The quiet is not empty anymore. The quiet is where the Father will meet you without all the competing voices. The quiet is where your spirit will remember the sound of being loved without earning, performing, begging, or explaining. You are entering a season where obedience will look calmer than before. You will not need to prove every move. You will not need to announce every instruction. You will not need to convince people who benefit from your confusion that your clarity came from God. The Father is covering you. The Father is correcting you. The Father is calling you. And this time, you will not let fear answer first. This time, you will let peace speak. This time, you will recognize the message before the wound has a chance to distort it. Pray this now. Father, I receive your voice. I release every false voice that used my pain to impersonate truth. I forgive what I am ready to forgive, and I surrender what I cannot fix. Teach me to hear you above fear, above shame, and above the noise of my past. Father, restore my discernment. Guard my sleep. Cleanse my attention. Strengthen my obedience. Heal the part of me that expected silence. Let your love become louder in me than rejection, and let my next step be led by peace instead of panic. I declare that I am your child. I declare that I am not forgotten. I declare that the message has reached me. I declare that the old wound will not translate my future. I declare that my hearing is being restored and my spirit is coming back into alignment. Amen. Let it be sealed. Let it be written in your heart. Your Father has spoken, chosen one. Now walk like a child who has been answered.